Okay, I'm where I wanted to be actually, which is here, looking at this drain. You can see it's a cast iron drain, and it's probably come from Barley Lane. It certainly looks like it's sort of old, to put it that way, and at the very least it's been here for a long time. Now the area this is draining into, and you can see there's water still coming through it because this has got wet with the overnight rain which we had last night. And I actually can tell you for a fact that this area has got a little bit worse since I was last here. Just take a little walk along, give you an idea of exactly where I am. Now I was here the other day and this was not quite as bad as this. Now this pipe, this will have had the same amount of water coming through it all winter long as any other pipe that would have run through this territory. So if that's the case, why is it that this actually all hasn't collapsed a long time ago? And there's two simple reasons. First of all, there's a lot of vegetation around, which is draining up the water, taking it in. And secondly, because the water is gathering and trying to find a route of its own. It's not sitting in a trench across the top of this entire site. And that's one of the reasons why this part of this footpath has not gone down the slope like the rest of it did. Because as much water as there's been, it's been able to contain it. And this would settle over the next few months. And with proper growth to it, would strengthen itself back up again. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Just looking at the damage to that tree in the background. They've done that, erecting these barricades. I mean, honestly. Okay, I'm stood immediately above the yellow pipe that I featured in one of the other videos. The one from the midsection of the hill. And that's actually where I was standing in and around these areas here to do that particular video. There's the tree lying over the steel fencing. Now, looking at this pipe, which is shallowed laid according to this turf here, it's coming back up and through here. Just keep track of it. Back up and through here. And there's no sign of it. Now, nobody's going to dig down that many feet to get to that pipe. That's a good 20 feet upwards to get to the level where them caravans are. And nobody's going to dig down that far. I'm actually on the actual landslip itself here. You can see all this is going over. We've had rain overnight. Anyway, the point of getting to this point was to show you that no way in the world did anybody dig down, 20 odd feet to put that pipe there. You can just make it out there. It's fairly shallow, and based upon that, I would have expected that pipe to have begun in this kind of area here. And there's nothing above it to indicate any digging down, and that was all path through there. It's obviously completely gone now. Anyway, the other pipe, of course, the one that's bending downwards, is over here somewhere, but I can't really get to that. It's there you are, you can see it's a clay coloured pipe with ribs on it, and that's the same pipe which appears in the stream, which I have got shots of. I'll put one with this video if I can. And of course that would have continued down there. But you can see another thing with that pipe as well. It's not a solid pipe. It's one of these bendy sort of things, whereas that is completely solid. Anyway, Let's get back. Well, I'm at the bottom of the hill in the deep of the glen, and this pipe here is the one I would expect that yellow one to have fed into normally, if that's actually associated. I mean, there's no way of saying. There's this one here, and just further along there's another larger drainage pipe, but I think that's actually connected to the gully that runs down the side of the footpath, which is just man-made gully, and that would be more than sufficient for even a bad winter's worth of rain or anything that was sitting on the glen to run off, and it would go through that last bit of pipe and into this stream here. So that's pretty normal, it's pretty standard drainage. And as said, this one here, this one is possibly the one that the yellow pipe we seen earlier on may or may not have fed into.